Good morning, beloveds. It was, it's been relatively cool the last couple of mornings, and this morning it was not. It's not hot, but it's not cool. And, I saw a meme last night that said we sprung forward so hard we sprung back into winter. Because the highs for the weekend are supposed to be in the 50s. So I was like, we've got some weather coming tonight. So y'all be safe this evening. All right. It is March 16th. The title is The Power of Spirit is With Me. The first quote is, "It is the spirit that quickeneth, and the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life." John 6:63. Go read it in context. And the second quote is, "And where do name and form both cease and turn into utter nothingness? And the answer is, in consciousness invisible and infinite of radiance bright." And that is from Buddhism, which means this is an Ernest Holmes reading. This lesson tells us that the objective world is quickened by the indwelling spirit. The words of truth are life unto every form which they animate. All words which are spoken in a realization of the divine nature are words of truth, and all such words give life. It is the spirit that quickeneth. Our lesson also tells us that the entire objective universe comes from one substance. This substance is differentiated or manifested in many forms. It looks as though the cause were dual because the forms are all different. But we must not fall under this delusion. Rather, we must penetrate the unity back of all form. In our text from Buddhism, we get the idea that there is a place where both the objective name and form cease to exist as things in themselves. There is an invisible consciousness which radiates all forms. This does not mean a denial of the objective world, but an affirmation that it is an effect projected from, by, and within a transcendent cause which has complete control over it. I know that the invisible power of spirit is with me, and I let my word be of its nature in me and the world around me. I turn from the appearance of dualism and begin to see myself as a perfect being living with other perfect beings in a world manifesting the transcendence of spirit. E.H. Ernest Holmes. At which point now I'm going to go, okay, and what did we just read? One of the things that I want to remind you is that when we're reading books like this, what they are taken from is when Ernest Holmes
Surprise!
He either started the magazine, or he did a series of lessons that you could mail him and request, and then he would mail you these lessons. So that's when he says lesson, these readings are taken from those lessons. And I think they were originally, you could mail them, and then I think they were available in the magazine. So it's just like, Ernest has all kinds of content out there that we're just like, what? That's one of the reasons why the archives is so important. If you haven't been to the Science of Mind archives, I highly encourage you to go to the Science of Mind archives. One, the archive director is absolutely wonderful. You will love Reverend Kathy Mastriani. And two, they've got all of this stuff. I've been to the archives. Like, I've actually been physically in the building, and I've seen the file cabinets and the furniture and the coats. They have a couple of his coats that are framed. So, and all of the pictures and the books, like they have a Science of Mind text in Braille. I think it's like six enormous books to do it in Braille, and they have them in the Science of Mind text in all kinds of languages. So there's just all of this stuff that they've been doing. They've been digitizing the magazine, all of them, so that eventually the entire magazine will be in the cloud, the database, and be searchable. So then we can go and find little gems like this that Ernest Holmes writes. So we can go back and have all of his lessons. And then we can go, oh, that's what you meant by using that Bible quote. Because you're like, what? The point of today, though, is to remind you that as wildly different as everything in this world, it's an effect. The material world is a world of effects. And it all comes from the same cause. And if it all comes from the same cause, it's a reminder that the power that created the entire world is the power that animates you. And if that power that animates you is the power that created the entire world, think about what you could do. The power of spirit is with me. It is within us. It is the power that animates us, that makes us go. And if we would stop and think, hey, wait a minute, you know what? The power that created me is the same power that animates me. It's the power that runs through me. I can use that. Imagine what we could create if we were willing to come into alignment with the power that animates us, the power that created us. And that's why he has that line in there. All words which are spoken in a realization of the divine nature are words of truth, and such words give life. When we speak our words in alignment with the divine nature, then our words have power. They are creative. We've been talking recently about praying without ceasing. The idea that any word that we speak, especially when it's wrapped in emotion, is creative. And it should rock us back on our heels. It absolutely should rock us back on our heels. So that when we stop and think, oh, you know what? All of those words that I said in anger are creative. Did I want to create that? All of those words that I said in love are creative. That's a good thing. That's where we want to focus. Now, I am not saying that anger is not, that the words you say in anger are not valid creative purposes. It's just like, you want to look at that and go, okay, when you are angry, are you creating to better what it is, or are you creating to make it worse? Anger is is absolutely powerful. And when we use it to make things right, fantastic. But frequently we don't think before we speak, and we can make situations worse with that. So that's one of the things that's why we weed our gardens. That's why we do our spiritual work, because our words have power. And we want to make sure that when we are using that power, we are doing it in divine alignment and creatively. We want to make sure that we are creating what we want, not reinforcing what we don't. And that's one of the reasons why it's super important to one, know who you are. Know who you are. And that's why he says we want to look for the cause behind the many. It's like, there are not two powers in this world. There's one. There's one cause, there's one substance. We're all from that same one. So when we can look in each other's eyes and see God looking back at us, even when it's people that we don't get along with, we're that much closer to making world wars for everybody. So, Ernest is big on believing and knowing who you are. All right. Oh, Ernest always makes me work for it. Some of the other writers, because the other writers are interpreting Ernest, and then they throw an Ernest in there, and then I have to interpret Ernest. So, which is what I love to do, which is why I keep doing these. My book next year, for the next year, it's huge. We're going to tackle the women of New Thought. It should be fun. All right. Let's see. I'm going to remind you, this line, this does not mean a denial of the objective world, but an affirmation that it is but an effect. And the cool thing about, if you remember that the material world is an effect, it means we can change it. Okay? So no matter what's going on, we have the power of the spirit within us to change the world of effect. Okay. So I know that the invisible power of spirit is with me, and I let my word be of its nature in me and in the world around me. I turn from the appearance of dualism and begin to see myself as a perfect being, living with other perfect beings in a world manifesting from the transcendence of spirit. Oh, Ernest, you're not giving me a good mission. Yeah. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to see ourselves as perfect beings living with other perfect beings. Okay? Let me remind you really quickly as I use that mission that perfect means whole. It means all-inclusive. It does not mean flawless. So we can take all of the quirks that make us who we are and still call ourselves perfect. Right? So we are perfect beings living with other perfect beings. Extend the grace. You are a beloved child of God. See everyone around you as a beloved child of God, and see how that makes your world work as the mission. All right. I also suggest the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. Big, small point is to practice on yourself. 1, you are your own best test subject. 2, practicing daily will create a habit, a first response, a default setting. And 3, you deserve your own love, you deserve your own kindness, you deserve your own compassion. This is a spiritual practice absolutely about self-care. Okay? You cannot pour from an empty cup. Practice on yourself. I am encouraging you to create a well-worn path to the source of your own being, to the source of infinite love, the source of infinite kindness, the source of infinite compassion. There are going to be days that you're going to need a little extra, and there are going to be days that you are going to meet people that need a little extra. Practice. Practice. And then remember, while it is absolutely about self-care, it is also about joy. It is about making room in your life for joy, no matter what is going on in the world. Therefore, when I say one of them is to take a deep breath, one of them is to take a nap, one of them is to take a walk, one of them, my suggestions, is to eat dessert first. Okay? And I do occasionally. And what I am reminding you of, the spiritual practice of love, kindness, and compassion, is also to remind you that your life is a special occasion. If you are animated by the Spirit, then you are special. And everyone is animated by the Spirit. We're all special. Our life is a special occasion because our life is a gift from Spirit, and what we do with our life is a gift back to Spirit. So, make room for joy. Eat dessert first. You deserve love, you deserve kindness, you deserve compassion. Give it or gift it to yourself. And don't save the good stuff. Okay? All right. I'm also going to encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body. I encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is important. Your brain works better when it's hydrated. I encourage you to get early in your day bright light. I am using artificial light today because, well, there's weather coming. I got the clouds look all kinds of interesting, and hopefully everybody gets home, before the weather really moves in, because it sounds like it's going to be interesting overnight. So we're going to get to sleep through most of it, but hopefully we'll get some rain. No storms, just rain. That'd be nice. Yeah. Okay. We'll get what we get, right? But that's about circadian rhythms. It is a hormone balance. It is about resetting those hormones with that early in your daylight. You'll have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. So it's science. You can look it up. Have I said it's a circadian rhythm? Yes. Okay. All right. And then I have a quote from Ernest Holmes, and I'm going to continue to use it because I love it so much. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. And the reason why I like that quote is because it's a reminder that heaven is not a place. It's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. Once you learn to create it for yourself, it becomes a state of grace because nobody can take it away from you. All right. Once you learn to do it for yourself, then you can learn to replicate it. And then heaven ceases to be a place and can become any place. And more importantly, if we continue to practice, which is what I encourage, it can become every place. All right. Science of Mind wants to help the world create a world that works for everyone. How we do that is by creating heaven for ourselves. I know it sounds a little selfish, but it's not. Because when you are walking around in a heavenly mind state, you interact with the world differently. When you interact with the world differently, the world responds to you differently. Everybody just has a little bit better of a time. And then it spreads. So, that's one of the reasons why I say, however else you do this, and there's lots of ways to do it. Thank God for the internet. Take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. Gratitude will get you everywhere. All right? So, practice, practice, practice. Meditate. Read the sacred literature. Listen to music. Have a good time. Go out and look at the world with fresh eyes and see godlings all around you. All right? And take care of yourself. Big one. Okay. I think now, I guess I'm at the social media part where I remind you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. We try and put up great content, especially when all the social medias are connected and letting us do that, as opposed to right now where they're being a little difficult. So, it's like, yes, we want to separate all your profiles, but then that makes it hard to share stuff across the profiles. So, this is my rant about social media. So, yeah. But if you want to know what's going on with the center, then email info@creativelife.org. The cool thing about that is that constant contact, the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it will take you right to where you want. And what I want you to remember is that our YouTube channel is, and both of them, because I have a YouTube channel as well. And apparently I have over 900 videos on my YouTube channel. Don't know what happened there. It's called Daily for 3 years. But the YouTube channels are fantastic. So creativelife.org click the hot links or go to creativelife.org. And, if you click on the Sunday Talks, it takes you right to the YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel is Creative Life Spiritual Center for them, and mine is the Running Rev Ryan. So feel free to check that out because that's where I archive these. I don't want to clutter up this Creative Lives with these because I do that with the Facebook page. So they are on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube. I'm a little bit behind though, so take that as a grain of salt. Okay. I should move on into the encouraging you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a preparing for the weather day, a dancing in the rain tonight maybe day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. Know who you are. Okay? Know who you are. You are enough just as you are. You are a godling. You are a beloved child of God. You are God in action. You are spirit in motion. You are a divine spark and a brilliant light. All right? So, I have faith that you'll get there if you're not already there. Hey, and if you're running circles around me, that's great too. So, I will remind you, Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I should be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.